Y squared problem. So the first thing I do is I find my notes that has y squared, and this is what I'm referring to. So I know it opens left or right. I know it opens left or right. So I get to write down y squared equals 4px. Then I'm going to rewrite this problem so that y squared is isolated. So I'm going to divide by 2 to do that. So y squared equals x over 2. And really it's like a 1x over 2. So now I get to set these two equal to one another by substitution and solve. 4px equals 1/2 x. To solve for p, I divide by 4x. And p equals 1/2 divided by 4. So if you ended up with 1/8 or 0.125, your p-value is correct. This is your p-value. Since p is positive, and I'm working with a y squared problem, does it open to the left or to the right? So I know it opens to the right, and my p is equal to 1/8, or you could say 0.125. Okay? So now I go to the focus, and I go back to this, and I go, the focus is P0. P0. So the focus is 1/8 and 0. So how do I find 1/8 and 0? Well, here's 1. I know that 1/8 is like barely anything. So it's going to be right to the right of the origin. That's my approximation. And now the directrix says x is equal to negative p. Equation is x equals negative, and my p is 1/8. So how do I graph this? I go to the x-axis to negative 1/8, which is like negative 0.125, which is right here. I cut through the x-axis and make a dotted line. For these type of problems, your line of symmetry or axis of symmetry always has, unless it's translated, an equation of y equals 0. Remember, y equals 0 is along the x-axis where all the y values are 0. Okay, so if I asked you to put your finger, which would be difficult to do, on the vertex, on the focus and on the directrix, and start pushing them towards each other, you'd land on the vertex, which happens to be the point 0, 0. So let's make a table of values. We know 0, 0 is one of them. I'm going to refer back to this. Okay? So let's plug in 1 for y. 1 squared is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Graph the ordered pair, 2, 1. There's 2, 1. Okay? Now I'm going to plug in a negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So I go over 2 and down 1. Notice that this parabola is not opening up as wide. It's a skinnier parabola.